This is an ABC News special report.
Good morning, I'm Whit Johnson in New York. We're coming on the air because the Supreme Court has just released a potential landmark decision impacting the future of birthright citizenship in the U.S.
Oh, Lord, yeah, we got a doozy for you guys today, man. President Trump and the MAGA movement destroys a historical victory in the United States Supreme Court. I'm talking about this here clears the way for the MAGA movement. And of course, you have the legacy media trying to explain what all this means as it refers to immigration and all other Trump policies, and all the other Trump policies and executive orders. But yeah, this is a major win, one we should celebrate. All my pro-American fans that's listening to me today, this is a major win for us, for the American people, for our Constitution. This is a great victory. And now I'm just gonna, yeah, this was a great victory for all us American-loving citizens. This was a great victory. Great victory. This victory now clears the path for Donald Trump to implement most of the policy he promised in his campaign. And of course, you guys, we're going to have the legacy media trying to spin this out of the web doozy. I mean, they spin this like it's a top. I mean, they trying to, but they can't spin it. They got to admit that this is a major victory for our President Trump, for these United States of America, and of course, for the MAGA movement, y'all. Without any further ado, y'all, let's get into it. Y'all, Lego.
And it's not as straightforward as I think a lot of people were perhaps expecting or hoping to hear. So break down what this actually means.
Well, this was a big surprise, Whit, and this is coming from the youngest conservative justice on the Supreme Court, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, 6-3, as you said, in a big win for Donald Trump, saying he can move forward with that executive order that he issued on day one, changing the definition of citizenship in this country. Practically speaking, it means the president can, in the next 30 days, begin to develop guidelines for how he would implement that. It does not mean, however, Whit, that this executive order is free from future legal challenge. Legal cases in 3 different districts will continue on the merits. The Supreme Court, in oral argument in this matter, did signal that it was skeptical that it could stand up to legal muster. But at this point, the court is really weighing in on the ability of individual judges in districts around the country to block a president's action nationwide.
And that's what's important here, guys. True enough, the birthright citizenship has not been decided yet. And this is not the United States Supreme Court kicking it down the court. This is really the United States Supreme Court establishing jurisdictions of the court. You can't be a district judge ordering an executive, putting an injunction on an executive order. You don't have the authority, not constitutionally, not even governmentally. You don't have the authority to block. I mean, here we have a president that was nationally elected. We have district judges who have not been elected, who've been appointed to their positions, who don't represent the voice of the people, blocking the voice of the people. And the Supreme Court ruled that unconstitutional. A district judge cannot order a nationwide injunction on an executive order. This is just our Constitution being reaffirmed. That's all, y'all. That's it. That's all. And it's a great day for the MAGA movement, man. It's a great day for us, y'all. It's a great day.
What Justice Barrett said today is that an individual federal court judge does not have that authority to broadly block a president. The judge, he or she, can block an individual while a case is being litigated, and in this case, that was upheld. So, this order, as it's implemented, cannot apply to those 22 states. It's going to be messy. It cannot apply to those particular pregnant women that are challenging this. But elsewhere in the country, and at the very least in the planning stages, the president can move forward, and that is a significant and surprising win for him.
I don't know what's so surprising about this win. I understand in the last 3 or 4 presidency, man, we had these district judges, injunction, all these executive privileges and executive orders. But I don't understand why anyone, why is this a surprise to anyone? Like, what made you think that that was constitutional? What made you think that someone appointed will have more authority over someone elected? Especially on a national scale. President Trump was elected nationally, man, in a landslide. These district judges was appointed. You have no public support. President Trump has overwhelming public support. And this is a government that is for the people, that is ruled by the people. So our vote matters more than your injunctions. We voted for these changes. I don't know why the liberal media, the legacy media, all these liberal losers keep thinking that Donald Trump is acting as an autocrat. He's not. He's fulfilling the will of the people. This is what we voted for overwhelmingly. For him to drain the fucking swamp, for him to get rid of everything that's been destroying us. And he is bringing a racquetball to the deep state, to the swamp. And boy, is us Americans finally have a president that we can be proud of, a president who finally keeps his promises. And, but of course, you know, legacy media, of course, they had their input on it. So let's see what legacy media had to say about this great victory from our president, Donald Trump. Let's go to CNN first, y'all. Check it out.
Reading through the opinion, Paula, what are you gleaning from it?
All right, Pamela, here's what we know. This is a big win for President Trump because he has been railing against the so-called nationwide injunctions. This is the power of a single judge to block an executive order for the entire country. And this case came up as a result of multiple challenges to his effort to limit birthright citizenship through an executive order. Now, here it appears that the justices are agreeing with Trump and limiting this power that judges have to block a policy for the entire country. Now,
this is what I mean. Like, this is so obvious now. You can tell these liberal legacy media pundits, like you could tell they're fucking, look at how she look. She's fucking, let me show you how she's looking. Like, she's fucking, like, I can't believe that the United States Supreme Court gave Trump this type of victory. Yes, you can, because the United States Supreme Court is sworn to protect the integrity of the Constitution. And that's exactly what happens here. But yeah, let's just finish this one out, y'all. Let's see what CNN has to say about this huge mega win for our President Trump and our country, these United States of America.
Now, on another issue, it does not appear that they have weighed in on whether Trump's effort to limit birthright citizenship is or is not constitutional. Instead, they are limiting the power of these judges to block policies for the entire country, which will likely allow Trump to proceed with this effort to limit birthright citizenship while the larger constitutional questions about whether he can do that are being litigated. Now, just to explain to you the significance of this, one of President Trump's lawyers told me this is the ball game for President Trump's agenda, because we know more than any modern president, he loves to govern through executive action. And the majority of these have been blocked.
This is what's pissing these liberal losers off right now, because Trump has been governing through executive action. And that's the really only way to govern, because if you govern any other way, if you try to govern through consent, we know the deep state is going to penetrate any objective you have there. We know that these liberal losers are going to try to block with propaganda and fear-mongering any type of consensus you can get with the American public on what needs to happen. So it takes a person with vision, like our president have, takes a person of vision, a person with experience, a person who knows the demonic nature of the deep state, the demonic nature of these liberal leaning losers. Like, they understand the destructive nature of these people's ideas and policies. So you can't go in and try to get a consensus for people to terminate what's been benefiting them. Like, there's nowhere in the world you're not gonna get Democrats to vote on what's best for America if it's outside of their personal interests. Like, they don't care about the country. They care about themselves. They own political objectives. They own political agenda. They own financial agenda. They don't care about none of us down here. And it's obvious. And this is not just the liberals. This is also some of these traditional conservatives, man. Y'all don't care about nothing but the power that that the government instills you folk with. And it's a power that the people never gave the government. You guys are abusing the Constitution. And finally, we have a United States Supreme Court that stands up with strict constitutional interpretation. Not all this liberal ambiguity in the translation of our Constitution. Our Constitution is frank and it's blunt. It should be a government for the people, by the people. If the people voted, then it should be enacted. We do not need a bunch of liberal judges dictating our national policy. Like, that don't even make no sense. Like, then you could just completely just, we have too many liberal judges thinking they could circumvent the power of the federal government or the power of our executive offices of the president of the United States. No, you do not have that authority. I'm sorry, and the United States Supreme Court ruled this, and this is a major win. And Trump team is celebrating this as a major victory because it is one, y'all. Let's finish this clip.
By lower court judges. So he has not been able to follow through with things he wanted to do on the budget, on mass firings, on immigration. So now that the justices are limiting the power that judges have to block those policies, this is going to allow them to implement these policies more quickly, though it is.
And that's the win, y'all. That's the win. Like, now Trump can implement his policies, even though a decision wasn't made actual on the facts of the birth citizenship issue. It was made on the authority and the authority that these district courts seem to believe they have. And that was a huge ruling because now our president can start implementing other policies, other executive orders that these injunctions have blocked. You know, like, we can get immigration back on you know what I'm saying? We can get back to getting rid of all this wasteful and fraudulent spending. We can get back to giving parents control over their kids' education. We can get back to those American pursuits. We can get back to our American pursuits without some liberal communist judge sitting back trying to make us a communist nation, trying to rule from appointment and not by election. That sound tyrannical to me. That sounds like some socialist communist government that's been trying to block Trump for these last 6 or 7 months. And now our United States of these Supreme Courts has ruled that America is a free country that is ran by the people and will continue to be so as our Constitution has prescribed. It don't get more simple than that, yeah. But you know me, I always got to digress because I will rant on all this shit, y'all. So let's just finish this.
It's possible that some of these might come before the justices in 2 or 3 years with constitutional concerns. But right now, the question was really whether a single judge anywhere in the country could block an executive action for the entire nation. And here, in a historic opinion, the justices are limiting that power. And again, President Trump's lawyers have told me this is the case that they are watching. This means everything for the president's ability to govern through executive actions.
This means everything. And I'm telling you, like, Trump has to rule through executive action. There's too much opposition. He can't get consensus. He can't even get consensus from the traditional Republicans who are so embedded with Big Pharma and the deep state and all this other crap. I mean, you can't even get consensus from your own conservative politicians, these so-called patriot pro-Americans. You can't even get them to have a consensus with a pro-American agenda. It's sad that we have Americans acting so anti-American. It's absolutely absurd, but I can understand it, man, because they have their own self-interest, man. Politics have made these people powerful. And these is really beta man and out-of-touch women in our politics, mostly all liberals, who is completely 100% want us to abdicate our responsibility to be self-governed. They want us to trust them to govern us. They already call us uneducated. We don't know how to make the right decision. They keep blaming us for voting Trump in. They telling us like this is proof to them that the American citizenship is uneducated and absolutely 100% disillusioned at the course that America's supposed to have been taking. I think it's the opposite. I think you folk are disillusioned and you people are demonic and perverse in y'all thinking. And I think you people are the most selfish individuals, power hungry, power greedy, racist people in this whole country. I'm talking about you left-leaning liberals. You people have been responsible for everything that has held this country back, for everything that you guys supposed to stand for, you guys create. You supposed to stand for the victim and you guys spend all y'all time victimizing. This is what the liberal losers mean to the American people. We are fed up with you crap. We is fed up with y'all crap. Like, get over yourself, man. You people are wrong, wrong, wrong. And the United States Supreme Court, in its historic opinion, just told you guys are wrong, wrong, wrong. America is a constitutional republic. It will remain a constitutional republic. We will not be tricked. We will not be hook-winked into embracing y'all socialist, communist ideas. Y'all Marxist ideas. We're not with that. We are American. We are a constitutional republican, a government that is governed by the people for the people. That is what we will remain. Now, you guys can only imagine the level of excitement from Trump and his administration after hearing this good news, y'all. Let's check out Trump's press conference. I'm gonna have to hear in the news of this decision.
One that we're very happy about. This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch. The Supreme Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done. And really, it's been an amazing period of time this last hour. There are people elated all over the country. I've seen such happiness and spirit. Sometimes you don't see that, but this case is very important. I was elected on a historic mandate, but in recent months we've seen a handful of radical left judges effectively try to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate cases before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect or at least delay it for many years, tie it up in the court system. This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades, and we've been hit with more nationwide injunctions than were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th century, me. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court for stepping in and solving this very, very big and complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case, because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. We have so many of them. I have a whole list. I'm not going to bore you, and I'm going to have Pam get up and say a few words, but there's really, she can talk as long as she wants, because this is a very important decision. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank again the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud, and our country should be very proud of the Supreme Court today.
Yes, this country, and I'm telling you specifically, personally, from this country, man, I am very proud of our United States Supreme Court. Kind of disappointed in the liberals, but I am proud of these United States Supreme Court. And for anybody who don't know what that means, our president just broke that down, that we can get back to our agenda of making America first. We can get back to the agenda of putting America first. That is glorious, y'all. That is glorious. But of course, you're going to have the naysayers. You're going to have the legacy media questioning what this means, trying to spin this, trying to fearmonger through this. You're going to have them telling immigrants this mean that no more birth citizenship rights, when that doesn't mean all that. Don't mean none of that. None of those cases have been decided yet. The only thing that has been decided on this case, and it has been a huge victory for our president, Donald Trump, and the MAGA movement, is that these district judges cannot levy national injunctions on a nationally elected executive order. I mean, they cannot levy injunctions. They cannot levy national injunctions on a president who's been nationally elected to execute a national agenda. Who the hell are you, dude? You're not even an elected official. You're an appointed official. So stop with the complete circumvention of our Constitution. It's not tolerated no more. And I couldn't have said it no better than Pamela Bundy. I mean, she spoke it for real. Like, she let them know, like, this is what this mean, and and this is what y'all can expect. So just check it out, y'all.
For fighting for all Americans. Americans are finally getting what they voted for. No longer will we have rogue judges striking down President Trump's policies across the entire nation. No longer. Today, in the 6-3 opinion, Justice Barrett correctly holds that the district court lacks authority to enter nationwide or universal injunctions. These lawless injunctions gave relief to everyone in the world instead of the parties before the court.
See, that's how ridiculous them people was. They wasn't even deciding on the cases in front of them. They was just invoking national injunctions without even deciding on the constitutionality of the issues that's presented in front of them. They weren't even deciding on the cases. They were just invoking national injunctions on anything that our president did. Like, and it's no longer acceptable, and it's no longer to be tolerated. So thank you, United States Supreme Court. Let me let our great Attorney General Pam Bondi finish.
As the Supreme Court held today, they turned district courts into the imperial judiciary. That's
what I'm telling y'all. Man, if y'all don't understand, man, them Democrats have a tyrannical objective. You don't understand. They want the country to be controlled by the government. And guess who you think they want to be controlling the government? them. They want the country ruled by the government, and they want to rule the government that rules the country. That is a liberal agenda, and I wouldn't give a fuck what way and in what manner you describe the agenda. I guarantee you it's gonna say that at the end. But yeah, I know me, your boy Big Meaty. I have to digress once again.
Active liberal judges have used these injunctions to block virtually all of President Trump's policies. To put this in perspective, there are 94 federal judicial districts.
Now I want y'all to hear this. This is how you can tell that this is a partisan objective with these district judges. Attorney General Bondi is going to point out specifically how many jurisdictions there is, how many district courts there are, how many districts there are in the United States, and how many of these have filed these national injunctions. Just peep game. If you think that this justices are just, withholding constitutional rights and privileges, and you guys can't see the partisanship in this, then Attorney General Bondi is going to make that specifically clear that that these are all partisan rulings, y'all. Just check it out.
5 of those districts throughout this country held 35 of the nationwide injunctions. Think about
94 districts. Out of 94 districts, 5 districts are responsible for 35 of the nationwide injunctions. And you guys won't believe where these 5 districts exist. Most definitely in the blue territory, y'all. But let's finish.
that. 94 districts and 35 out of the 40 opinions with nationwide injunctions came from 5 liberal districts in this country. No longer. These injunctions have blocked our policies from tariffs to military readiness to immigration to foreign affairs, fraud, abuse, and many other issues. The judges have tried to seize the executive branch's power, and they cannot do that. President Trump, thank you for fighting for all Americans. Americans are finally getting what they voted for. No longer.
No, I mean, you guys will no longer be able to slow down, circumvent our president's Make America Great Again agenda. Like, I don't even know why you guys are against an American president focusing strictly on America to make America great. Like, that should be something we're all proud of and taking pride in. Liberals that suffer from TDS, you can't explain. You can't make sense to these people. They are uncommon people with ideas that don't make no sense. Like, I don't even know what made these guys think that an appointed judge can circumvent the actions of an elected official. I mean, it gotta be Constitution-hating people, man, who cheer for that, who allow that, who accept that, man. You gotta be anti-American. You can't be pro-American, because America gonna remain what it was founded upon, and that is the freedom of the individual, the freedom of his people, and the servants of his people, from their government. No longer will the government people be subordinate to the government. But I don't even understand what their fight is. I mean, the people voted. We was aware of what Trump was running on. He made it specifically clear. He made it specifically clear during his campaign what he was finna do, what he was gonna do. And now that he's doing it, you guys want to circumvent it, want to stop it. But I'm telling you, no. Us American people voted for what he's doing. Tear all this shit down and rebuild it. Because it's been constructed out of the wrong material by the wrong people. You liberal losers are no longer going to get control of our government, of our citizenship, of our country. America will not ever, ever, ever become a communist state, no matter how hard you liberal Marxists try. We're not going to become that. We are a country that is endowed by the gift of God of individual liberties. And we're going to remain that until we don't remain anymore. Either you blow us off the face of this earth, or America's going to continue to be a nation of free-thinking, free-willed people. And with that, I end this, y'all, on the great note of a great victory for us people, man. For us rebels in this common sense revolution, y'all. Another victory for us, y'all. That's celebrated because now we can get this agenda back on course. Now we can get America on course to becoming great again. And y'all, we all should be happy about it. I don't care whether you liberal, Republican, independent. I wouldn't care if you're libertarian. I wouldn't care if you black, white, women, trans, gay, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Asian. I'm telling you that what happened today is going to be great for all of America because this was an American decision. And I'd just like to thank our United States Supreme Court for having the balls and the courage to stand up to the liberal losers and their deep state and their instruments of corruption. Because I know it probably was pressure for them to make another decision, and they made the right decision for the American people. So we all should be proud of the decision that the United States Supreme Court made today, y'all. We all should be proud, y'all. And with that, your boy Big Meathead is out of here once again, man. Y'all know how I rotate, man. Stay out your body, man. Reside in your spirit. It's where your potential at, man. So peace, my beloved. Until the next video, man. Check this out, man. Man, if you guys like these videos, if you guys find value in these videos, man, you know what I'm always asking you to do, man. Like and subscribe to the video so we can grow this channel, man, so we can grow this conversation. I'm not asking you to do much, man. Just engage with me, man. Let's just talk about it, man. If y'all think this was a big win for Trump, man, put your thumbs up, man. If everybody think this was a big win for America, man, put one in the comments, man. If you think this was a loss for America, put 2 in the comments, man. We'll figure out the rest of you people from that point on, man. So until the end, man, until next time, man, peace, my beloveds. I'm out of here.